Gun fam, what's up? It's the Gun Brother. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we are going to talk about prohibited places to carry in DC with a couple of very actually specific questions that I want to address. So let's just get into it real easy. All right, when we're talking about DC prohibited places to carry, there's one that really I've been teaching it wrong, and I don't know what other people are teaching. I know it's kind of a general consensus, and it's because of the way they put the information out. So I was reviewing DC code over the weekend, and I found something out. And it's funny because somebody mentioned it in one of my comments maybe 8 months ago, or it's a while back, and this was in regard to being able to carry in an establishment that has a license to sell alcohol to be consumed on the premises. DC puts out, or originally when DC became shall issue, they put out a whole bunch of information, gave it to the instructors, and said, here you go, this is what you're going to be teaching. And one of those was a specific list, and the list was linked on the dc.gov website. So if you go down the list, most of the places are pretty standard, and you get to number 8, and it says any premises where alcohol is served, sold, and consumed on the premises pursuant to a license issued under Title 25 of DC Code. And I actually went to Title 25 under DC Code, and all of the licenses appeared to be the same or issued. They're all issued under that. So it led me to believe that you basically could not go into a restaurant that sold alcohol to be consumed on the premises because they all had their licenses issued under that part of the code. So I was reviewing DC Code, as I do from time to time, and I get to, let's see, if you look on the list, it is number 8, but in DC Code, it is number 7. And number 7 reads, any premises or portion thereof where alcohol is served or sold and consumed on the premises pursuant to license issued under Title 25, provided that this prohibition shall not apply to premises operating under a temporary license issued under Section 25115, a CR, DR, CH, or DH, or caterer license. I was like, well, let me look that up. What does that mean? Because I had never seen that specified, and that was my reply to the individual. It was about the same topic, and the person said it depends on the license of the restaurant. And then all I showed them was the knowledge that I had. I said, hey, this doesn't specify which license, but DC Code does, and I don't want to say they changed it, but I don't ever remember seeing this. So right here, on-premise retailer, and it goes on to say permits the sale, service, and consumption of alcohol on the premises, but what is exempt were CR, DR, CH, and DH. So according to this, those are designated as hotel bars, I would assume, or hotel restaurants, and then regular restaurants, CR or DR, CH, or DH. So what would still be a prohibited place if their license was I would assume CB, which is breakfast, CX, multi-purpose facility, CN, nightclubs, which I knew that was going to be the case, and then T for tavern. So basically a restaurant that's operating under a basic CR license or DR license, you can actually carry in that establishment. You just cannot consume alcohol while you're on the premises. The only other tricky part is, and you can chime in the comments if you know this information and I haven't researched it yet, how do I find out what license any establishment has that I'm going to? But I would have to know what kind of license the restaurant was operating under. But for the last few years, most of us have been teaching you cannot go into a restaurant that serves alcohol to be consumed on the premises. And I'm just here to say DC Code does make an exemption for these 2 types of licenses, or 4 types of licenses. So that's part 1. Just wanted to, get that out to you. I always usually try to go through the three areas of the DMV as well. So Virginia, you can go into a restaurant. It doesn't matter just as long as you're not drinking. And Maryland is the same. Maryland tried to do that with SB1, but it was an injunction was placed against that part of the bill. So you can go into a restaurant that serves alcohol to be consumed on the premises, but you cannot drink. Then there's another part. So I was just scrolling through IG and I saw my guy, the Daniel Accord, and he always gives good information and stuff like that. And he had a question posed to him, which I get a lot as well. So let's take a look at that.
Should you respect a no firearm sign or not?
Should you ignore firearm signs was the question. Now, to his credit, his video goes into whether or not you should talk about that on the internet. So he didn't really go into address the question. It's just, he was just saying certain influencers or certain personalities encourage people to just carry. It doesn't matter, you're concealed and they won't know and that type of thing. But the key words that he said in this video, he says, some influencers are encouraging people to break the law. So what I wanted to address is technically, it depends on where you are. There are some jurisdictions that have it in their code that those signs are valid. And then there are some jurisdictions that don't. So our area is no exception. Being those three different jurisdictions, we always have different rules. DC does specifically say on their list, any non-residential property that is posted with conspicuous signage prohibiting the carry of a concealed pistol. And that is also in DC code. So that's codified. So those signs in DC do have the backing of law. Neither Maryland nor Virginia do. Okay? There's nothing in either of their codes that say if a business posts a sign, you have to abide by it. Those signs don't have the backing of law. What does that mean? If you're in a jurisdiction where the sign has the backing of law and you get caught, you're breaking the law. And usually it's just a misdemeanor, but sometimes when it's weapons related, it can cause you to lose your concealed carry license. Just depends on the jurisdiction. If you're in a jurisdiction where the signs don't have the backing of law, you're breaking store policy or the policy of that business. And then they can, from what I've seen, they can trespass you if you don't agree to leave and things like that. So again, not advising you on what to do in either case, but there is a difference depending on the jurisdiction you're in, whether the signs are backed by law or not. So you have to research the laws in your jurisdiction and then make that decision for yourself. So for my area, like I said, DC, the signs do have the force of law. Maryland and Virginia, they don't. So how you conduct yourself after that is up to you. So just things to think about, considerations to make. Anything you want to say in the comments, you're more than welcome to say it. Please remember to like and subscribe if you got good information and like the content. And like I said, please do that for any other 2A content creator that you do like, because that keeps our content up on all these platforms that are really in many ways trying to limit 2A content. And with that being said, the Gun Brother is out. I will talk to you guys next time. Stay protected.